From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Good Thursday morning. We got a lot of high-flying action with our weather over the next 7 days. A couple of different First Alert weather days for a couple different rounds of mountain snowfall, high winds for today and for Sunday. So First Alert weather day through 4 p.m. on Friday because of snowfall for mountain passes. Could have up to 10 inches of snow for some of our higher passes for the Blues. But next week, my goodness, we could have up around 3 feet of snow for our Cascade passes. That would be from 4 a.m. on Sunday to 4 a.m. next Thursday. That is very badly needed snowfall, but that'll make our passes look very bad on top of that. Okay, First Alert radar is showing you this round of snow is dying off for now for the Blues, but we are expecting more rounds for the Cascades and Blues later in the day. Winds already, it's blustery across the map, a little bit of a dead spot here in the Tri-Cities, but gust up around 30 miles per hour for Ellensburg, the same thing for Pendleton, and they will definitely ramp up later in the day. And that's making these temperatures feel a little bit colder than they otherwise would. A couple 34s for Yakima and Sunnyside. We're at 41 for the Tri-Cities. In general, it's going to end up being a beautiful day, much more sunshine as opposed to the last couple days. And we will have some low-end chances for showers for the foothills and for the valleys. But I'll touch on the high winds for today and Sunday coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, a heavy police presence shut down part of Richland yesterday afternoon. Now this morning, we'll see how officers tracked a suspect wanted for robbery and the unusual way that he was captured. We're going to take you to the scene coming up. Plus, Kennewick police closed 4 massage parlors involved in illegal activity. Coming up, we're going to show you how officers targeted businesses suspected of prostitution and human trafficking. Plus, a proposed Washington bill would let the Criminal Justice Training Commission screen sheriff candidates. Coming up, we're going to hear from local officials on what the bill requires and why it's sparking debate across the state. We have those details on these stories and more coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. Joining us here for Good Morning Northwest, I'm Jade Elliott. We start this morning with a crime alert. This following a wanted man's arrest after police found him hiding in the attic of a building in Richland. Now this morning, Apple Valley News Now's Caleb Stipkovitz takes us to the scene and explains the unusual way police took this man into custody.
A heavy police response just off of George Washington Way and Comstock Street Wednesday afternoon to arrest a man wanted for robbery and unlawful imprisonment in Pasco. And Richland police says that Pasco police tracked the suspect to Richland. Police say that the suspect and an acquaintance entered this building right behind me, leading to a response from several police agencies this afternoon, including Pasco, Richland, Kennewick, and Benton County. Commander Damon Jansen of Richland PD says they chose a heavy response as a safety precaution.
In a situation like this where there's a building with multiple businesses in it and, you know, there are going to be customers or patients at some of the facilities here. So that's a big concern for us. We want to make sure that everyone's safe. So that's why we had a large presence of officers in the area to assist with that.
And after an hour, police finally got him out in a peculiar way.
The suspect was found hiding in the attic of the place. There's a crawl space that's up in the attic area. And from my understanding is that he fell through the ceiling of it, which is why we ended up, one of the reasons we had the medics come and evaluate him.
Police detained the suspect's acquaintance at the scene as well, but at this time, it is unclear if the person will remain in police custody. Going forward, Pasco Police is expected to take over the investigation. From Richland, Caleb Stipkovitz, Apple Valley News Now.
And police got that suspect out of the building around 2 p.m. and the operation caused minimal traffic impacts as well. Everything back up and running this morning. In another crime alert, this one out of Kennewick, 4 illicit massage parlors were shut down after a Kennewick police operation targeting illegal activity and potential human trafficking. Police said they received multiple complaints about illegal massage businesses involving prostitution and trafficking. Well, Tuesday, detectives with the Criminal Investigation Division carried out an operation that led to the closure of 4 locations: Our Massage on North Kellogg, Sunrise Massage Spa on North Volland, Sunrise Massage on Vista Way, and Dream Spa on West Clearwater. Now, 3 owners were cited for permitting prostitution. 1 owner was arrested and booked into the Benton County Jail, and 3 people believed to be trafficking victims were offered advocacy services. Police say they will continue to investigate illegal businesses and the customers involved. 5:04 now, and looking to state legislature where lawmakers in Olympia continue to consider a bill that would let a state commission remove elected sheriffs if deemed unfit for office. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen says supporters say it's about accountability. Critics, though, say it's an attack on voter rights.
The Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission, or CJTC, could soon have new power over elected sheriffs. Under a bill in Olympia, sheriff candidates would have to pass a Washington State Patrol background check that goes beyond criminal history, including a social media review, a check for ties to extremist groups, a polygraph test, and a psychological evaluation. The CJTC would publicly post which candidates requested and passed.
Why not hold law enforcement leaders appointed or elected to the standards of accountability and professionalism that their subordinates are held to?
CJTC members are appointed by the governor. The bill would let the commission remove a sheriff with a felony conviction who can't legally own a firearm or who lacks 5 years of required law enforcement experience. Supporters say it modernizes state law and strengthens public trust. In Franklin County, critics say it does the opposite. A resident presented a letter seeking a redress of grievances, arguing the bill violates the constitutional right to elect a sheriff.
This is an abuse of your authority, and I'm sorry to see it because I believe that there are more people in this room that stand for the right things, but you do not know your Constitution. This is to stand with the sheriffs. They violated the Washington State Constitution. They have to amend it to pass this sort of thing.
According to Franklin County Administrator Brian Danzel, commissioners have already sent a letter early in the legislative session adamantly opposing the bill.
Yeah, even though that there's been documented issues that have taken place, we're not going to let that blind us to the idea that Olympia is heavy-handed in trying to take away the individual's right to elect an independent sheriff.
Supporters say higher standards mean more accountability. Opponents say an appointed commission shouldn't be able to overrule voters. The bill is still moving through the legislature. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.
And now lawmakers in Olympia are expected to keep debating the proposal. If it passes, it could significantly change how sheriffs are chosen and removed across Washington. We'll, of course, continue to track what happens to the bill and how counties like Franklin could respond. And staying in Olympia this morning, a bill limiting the use of face coverings by law enforcement in Washington has passed through the chamber. Senate Bill 5855 passed both chambers of legislature this week, and it would prohibit officers from wearing masks that obscure their faces while performing official duties. Under the measure, items like ski masks and gaiters would generally be banned, with exceptions for protective gear used during severe weather or exposure to hazardous materials. Supporters say the bill increases transparency and accountability.
And that this bill is intended to enhance trust between the public and law enforcement so that the public can literally see who law enforcement officers are.
Now, critics of the bill warn that it could put law enforcement at risk, pointing to a recent spike in exposure of agents' personal information, including phone numbers and home addresses. If signed, the law would also allow individuals detained by an officer who violates the policy to file a civil lawsuit. The governor is expected to act on this bill in the coming weeks. 5:08, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. New video showing the first 100 hours of U.S. strikes in Iran as the battle over war power heats up in Washington. Coming up, why lawmakers blocked a measure to limit President Trump's authority, and a Senate hearing that turned physical. We have the latest on the war in Iran just ahead. And giving you a live look outside this morning, this one from our Legends Casino and Hotel Sky camera at Richland's Columbia Point. When we come back, we'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth. He'll have your first alert forecast on this Thursday morning.
The Y Card, a powerful resource for former Hanford and DOE employees. If you worked in the area and have come down with cancer, lung disease, Parkinson's, or renal failure, you may be eligible for financial compensation and healthcare services. A simple phone call can get the process started. Atomic Home Health. Don't wait. Call today.
These days, the world is moving faster than ever, but I like to say, not so fast when it comes to a progressive disease like chronic kidney disease. Jardiance is a little pill proven to slow the progression of CKD and reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Find the goodness of slow by saying, not so fast, CKD. Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
This season, your refund goes further.
At all Walker's Furniture and Mattress locations. For a limited time, we're giving you a sales tax discount equal to double the sales tax. So you can refresh your space for much less with the tax break you need and the comfort you deserve.
Plus, with no money down, special financing for 5 years, you can save now and pay over time.
This week at Walker's, where quality just costs less.
Bathfitter knows what you're looking for. The perfect style for your bath remodel with the look of tile you want. New textures, shapes, and styles. Works with your budget? Low maintenance. With no messy grout to clean. Quality and beauty that lasts, backed by a lifetime warranty. Sounds like Bathfitter styles are your match. And with new designs, now there's even more to love. Time to set a date. It just fits. Go to bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
Who could have wanted a rising football star dead? It's heartbreaking. Everybody's a suspect.
It wasn't the police that discovered this key witness. It was ESPN. Placed under arrest.
2020, Friday night on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
This newscast sponsored by Multicare Yakima Memorial Hospital. Excellence you can trust. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Just wanted to update you on some past conditions real quick, as we are seeing some snowy passes for both the Cascades and the Blues, but the worst impacts right now are over in the Blues. Traction tires being advised for Cabbage Hill and I-84, and there are some chain restrictions on Tollgate from milepost 16 to 39. You can find more information about all these by going online to tripcheck.com. Okay, we'll take it back down to lower elevations. Higher elevations going to see impacts from the high winds as well for both today and for Sunday. So for today, gust up around 50 miles per hour for the Kittitas Valley, closer to 30 to 35 miles per hour in the Tri-Cities and Yakima. Then for Sunday, you can see the gusts a little bit stronger for the Tri-Cities and Hermiston, up around 45 miles per hour, still up around 50 miles per hour for the Kittitas Valley and for the Cascades. And when you factor in some of the snow that we'll see for both of those days, that could, I'm not saying it's going to be blizzard-like conditions up in the mountains, but we could see some reductions in visibility with that combination of the winds and the snow. Okay, for today, high temperatures getting into the 40s and 50s for lower elevations, 30s and 40s up in the mountains. For tonight, lower elevations going to drop down into the 30s, and the wind gusts picking up on Sunday. Obviously, because of a cold front that's passing. Look at the drop-off in temperatures from Sunday to Monday. 62 in Yakima on Sunday, 52 by Monday. I'll have a hard time making it out of the 40s by the time we get to Tuesday, and those overnight lows going to ebb and flow as well. So dealing with the winds and multiple rounds of snow on the way for our mountain passes, especially for next week. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Josh. At 5:13, news from around the world this morning as the Pentagon has released a new video marking the first 100 hours of the war in Iran, showing U.S. strikes on multiple targets, all as President Trump's administration calls it just the beginning. Meanwhile, Republicans in Congress have blocked an effort to limit the president's war powers as questions grow over the timing of this war. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the very latest from Washington.
This morning, the Pentagon marking the first 100 hours of the war in Iran by releasing this video showing strikes on multiple Iranian targets.
We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy.
The Trump administration saying this is just the beginning of the war, and now a victory for the White House.
The motion to discharge is not approved.
Republicans in Congress defeating an effort by Democrats to rein in President Trump's war powers. The measure would have prevented further military action without congressional approval, but Senate Republicans pointing out past presidents from Bush to Obama also conducted military operations without congressional approval. It comes as the president faces growing scrutiny over his rationale for ordering the attack on Iran. Top officials saying Trump acted on intelligence and insisting that Iran posed an imminent threat. Critics want proof. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt yesterday saying this.
The president had a feeling, again, based on fact, that Iran was going to strike the United States, was going to strike our assets in the region.
Democrats pouncing. Senator Chris Coons saying, quote, the president and his administration keep shifting their rationale for the war. The only thing that has remained consistent is the lack of strategy for how to wage it. And that's what happens when you launch a war based on gut feelings. While the war of words plays out, an actual fight broke out during this Senate hearing.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
An anti-war protester identified as 44-year-old Brian McGinnis clashing with police. Montana Senator Tim Sheehy then helping officers remove McGinnis, whose arm appeared to snap. He now faces multiple charges, including assaulting an officer.
And McGinnis is a U.S. Senate candidate from North Carolina running as a member of the Green Party. His website says he is a Marine veteran. Those 3 Capitol Police officers were treated for injuries. We'll, of course, continue to follow the developments from Iran and bring you updates as they become available. So much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest as we give you a live look outside from right here at the Apple Valley Studios in Kennewick. When we come back, checking in with Josh and your full First Alert forecast, let you know not only what you can expect today as you head out the door, but as we make our way closer to the weekend.
Play your cards right in the Lucky Draw Match game at Legends Casino Hotel. Every Thursday in March, 4 winners are guaranteed to take home $2,000. And get ready because we're upping the ante. Pick 7 cards to reveal multipliers. Match the right ones and deal yourself up to $10,000. Use your Legends Rewards card to get in on the action. Don't fold on your chance to win big. Play Lucky Draw every Thursday in March, only at Legends Casino Hotel.
Before every celebration, there's a moment of anticipation, of energy, of excitement, of possibility. Macy's is here for all of it. Celebrating a special year of 100 parades, 50 fireworks, and all of life's moments.
71st anniversary savings continue at Bi-Mart. Join our membership family through March 9th and we'll give you a free Bi-Mart bucket with goodies. 12 packs of Shasta or LaCroix or buy 2 get 1 free. PMC's 223 20-count ammo is just $8. Jumbo 6 packs of annuals or vegetables are $3.79 each. Plus save $5 on Casseron granules. Now just $24.99. Members find even more savings in store with our extra member discounts only at Bi-Mart.
Welcome to KVH Orthopedics, now in our newly renovated space that's modern and welcoming, with appointments available when you need them. Our state-of-the-art facility and advanced technology provide expert diagnostic and surgical care. Our team is with you every step of the way, helping you get back to the life you love. Experience the next level of orthopedic care at KVH. Schedule your appointment today. Kittitas Valley Healthcare, your home for health.
To see if you qualify for Hanford Worker Compensation, please call Smart Law for a free consultation at 509-735-5555. Workers and the families of deceased workers who worked at the Hanford site are now eligible for compensation for diseases and illnesses, including neurological, respiratory and heart conditions, cancers, and beryllium-related disorders. This may be in addition to compensation already being received. Call Smart Law at 509-735-5555 for Hanford Worker Compensation. Smart Law, smart choice.
E.T. and Extra, tonight at 7 on Apple Valley News Now.
Extra, extra.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We have a first alert weather day through 4 p.m. tomorrow because of some of the snow we could see for mountain passes. But that round that's looming for next week is looking much more impactful. Here are all the storm systems that are looming off the coast, and you can see, well, this one we're going to have to deal with through Friday, but this is the one that is going to bring us those impacts Sunday and beyond. So let's take it back closer to home. Let's put this into motion with Futurecast radar. And throughout today, we'll have rounds of snow for both the Cascades and the Blues. I'm thinking lower elevation is going to stay mostly dry, and then another round of snow as we head into Friday morning. Now, thankfully, after 4 p.m. on Friday, that's when snow levels are going to come up, and it's mainly going to transition to rain at pass level, but then snow levels coming back down on Sunday, and so then we'll have to deal with it all over again. You can see hour-by-hour rain and snow chances for your exact home address by downloading the Apple Valley News Now First Alert weather app free in the App Store or on Google Play. Here's some of those snowfall totals we're anticipating from this morning through tomorrow afternoon. 5 to 6 inches of snow for Stevens Pass and Snoqualmie Pass. Definitely a lot less for White, Blewett, and Sadis passes. Then over in the Blues, maybe another couple inches for Cabbage Hill on Interstate 84, and perhaps another 9 inches of snow for Tollgate on Oregon 204. Okay, here's what it's going to look like for lower elevations over the next 7 days. We'll have these little chances for rainfall in the Tri-Cities for today, for Monday, and for Wednesday. But for Monday and Wednesday, that's going to be associated with the storm system that'll bring much more snow to our mountain passes. 4 a.m. on Sunday to 4 a.m. next Thursday, we're thinking around 3 feet of snow for Snoqualmie Pass and White Pass. Definitely a good deal less for the rest of our passes, except for Oregon 204, 10 to 11 inches, which still pales in comparison to 36 inches of snow. If that verifies, that is certainly some very good news for our mountain passes. We need, for our mountains in general, we need all the snow we can get, but that's bad news for pass travel. Okay, here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. A small chance of showers tomorrow, high winds gearing up for Sunday. In Yakima, mostly sunny and breezy today, mostly cloudy and mild this weekend with windy weather for Sunday. In Ellensburg, gusts up to around 45, 50 miles per hour for today and Sunday, then tracking the potential for some snow next week. Then for Hermiston, windy today and Thursday, and a small shower chance sandwich in between on Friday. Finally, for Walla Walla, chances for precip every single day over the next 7 days, maybe even some snow mixing in Monday night into Tuesday.
All right, talking snow again.
Yes, and a lot of it.
I was hoping it was going to be more sunshine.
There's going to be sunshine today.
Okay.
There will be.
I'll take what I can. I'll take what I can get. Yeah. Okay. Hey, check this out. Today in history, in 1963, a toy maker received a patent for what became a timeless toy. Any guess?
1963.
Yeah.
Like Hot Wheels, maybe.
Ooh, that's a good guess. Yeah. But no. Take a look.
Okay. That toy maker was author Spud Malini, and the toy was the hula hoop. The idea for the toy was actually conceived by Joan Anderson, but the first hula hoops were made by Mellon's company, Wham-O.
Company sold 25 million hula hoops in the first 2 months that it was available. Can you hula hoop?
I can't hula hoop.
Yeah?
I can't remember the last time I hula hooped. That was maybe back in like 2009, I think.
Oh, you're dating it.
Yeah.
That's funny. My mom she can hula hoop. There's a trick to it.
Yeah, I think it's just about momentum and
I don't know.
Swinging the hips.
Yeah, there's some people that can really get down with a hula hoop.
I'm sure there's a Guinness World Record for like longest.
Oh, there's got to be, I'm sure. Yeah.
We got to look.
We're going to look it up. Yep. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. A great-great-grandma rhino gets a hands-on mud bath treatment. And down in Florida, a stranded boat leaving officials with a big bill. We have the details on those stories coming up. And take a look at this after the break.
Do you know what's happening in Kennewick? A facility housing the worst of the worst, level 3 sexually violent predators, is proposed in our neighborhood. With kids and families nearby, we must act now. Neighbors are uniting to fight a statewide issue and protect our community. This requires legal counsel and outreach. Please donate to support our efforts. These people are profiting off these placements. Let's stop them from putting our community at risk.
Life happens. Lucky for you, ICCU has a new kind of checking account that comes with benefits, including 24/7 telehealth.
Wait, through my ICCU checking account? On it.
Along with a whole lot of other benefits you might need. Because being human is a full-time job.
Brace your taste buds. Don't miss out on the new DQ $6.99 Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket. A spicy, bold heat, served with a side of our cool, sweet DQ soft serve as a dip. All for just $6.99. Plus, try a sweet, spicy sip of lemonade made with tahini. It's the new Swisey menu for a limited time, only at DQ.
Welcome to Nob Hill Casino, your premier gaming destination. Experience the thrill of a Vegas-style casino featuring the friendliest dealers in town. Join our Players Club and unlock exclusive rewards every time you play. Challenge your skills at our 16-lane bowling alley. Unwind with a drink at our cozy bar, or enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the Last Frontier. The ultimate entertainment experience has something for everyone. Nob Hill Casino, where locals come to win.
Just like you, I'm working towards buying my first home.
I'm saving for my children's future.
Like you, I want financial tools that make my life easier.
At Hapo, we're more than employees. We're people just like you, and we understand what really matters.
Just like you,
we're planning for our future.
And I care about making a difference.
We are here to help you navigate life's milestones, big and small, because we're just like you. Join us at Hapo today.
Wallace. It's gorgeous. Live the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
5:26. Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Check this out. A great-great-grandmother is getting a little extra care these days, but not the kind you might expect.
And in Florida, what started as a dramatic boat rescue is now turning into a costly problem for a beachside community. Jeremy Roth has the details in this morning's Take a Look at This.
Watch a great-great-grandma rhino get a spa day-style mud bath treatment. That is one weird headline that shouldn't make sense, but according to Australia's Werribee Open Range Zoo, all of it is true. This is Make. She is a rhino, she is a great-great-grandmother, and she does get mud bath treatments by hand these days, courtesy of zoo staff. No, it's not because she's bougie, it's because as an elderly rhino in her 40s, unlike more youthful members of the herd, she's no longer physically able to roll in the mud herself and get all of those hard-to-reach places. Known as wallowing, many animals engage in this behavior to protect their skin from the sun, manage parasites, and keep themselves cool. But Make is special. This golden girl gets her grimy gloppy glow up with none of the dirty work. Well, stuck in the muck is the root of a pricey problem officials in Florida likely didn't have on their bingo card, but it's one they are facing nonetheless after this big beached boat was seemingly abandoned. Back in January, Flagler Beach firefighters rescued a family from the boat after it lost power and nearly capsized. No one was hurt, but the boat became beached, and according to WKMG, the family has surrendered ownership to the state, essentially leaving the vessel behind. Now the city is facing a bill of at least $42,000 to get the marooned eyesore removed. Until then, the sand-socked schooner is staying put. But hey, at least local looky-loos are happy.
I think it's amazing to see that, and it reminds me of growing up and watching Gilligan's Island.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
It's one way to look at it.
You know, way back in the 60s, there was a hurricane on the Gulf Coast, Hurricane Camille, and it washed up this boat onto the Gulf Coast. And it was just kind of a mystery boat, and so I can't remember if it was in Biloxi or New Orleans, but the locals made it into a little gift shop and maybe even a restaurant. But then Hurricane Katrina washed it away, so that's kind of a sad ending to the story. But maybe that community could do something like
Make
that.
something fun with it.
Yeah,
it's an interesting little conundrum they're in,
yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, okay. Still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is expanding hydropower at Dworshak, at the dam there, to boost electricity for the region. Coming up, we're going to see how a new generator could power hundreds of thousands of homes. And the Port of Moses Lake is launching a major airport, rail, and water projects to support business growth. Details on those projects underway and how they could impact jobs and water supplies. That's all coming up. But first, here's your Tech Bites.
In
In today's Tech Bites, another legal fight for Roblox. Nebraska is now the 7th state to sue the popular gaming platform, accusing it of failing to protect children from adult predators. Roblox says safety is at its core, pointing out it enforces age-based settings, among other controls. A nuclear reactor founded by Bill Gates has received federal approval. TerraPower aims to create an efficient alternative power source with AI companies and data centers in mind. It would be the first commercial U.S. nuclear power plant in a decade. Construction is expected to cost at least $4 billion. Finally, big tech companies, including Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, have signed a pledge at the White House to battle the rising electricity costs. They're promising to pay for the power for their massive data centers, even bringing new power generators online. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Hannah Battah. Have a great day.
What if there was a cruise that felt like no other? A cruise created by foodies, for foodies. One chef for every 10 guests. Every meal prepared to order, and every plate a personal discovery. Welcome to the world of Oceania Cruises, the world's greatest cities and off-the-beaten-path secrets. One memorable bite and toast at a time. It's more than a feeling. It's more than a cruise. It's Oceania Cruises.
Dulcolax.
Good morning. Hey. Good morning.
Dulcolax Liquid Gel with Liquid Core reactivates your natural gut rhythm overnight for relief that feels amazing. Dulcolax Liquid Gel.
Meet my bestie. National University supports all her ands. With flexible online courses, she can be a student and an adventurer. She's an ander. National University, supporting all your ands.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest, on your side.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks for waking up with us, joining us here for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jade Elliott.
I'm Josh Colbert.
Okay, you said some sunshine today.
Yes.
But then some snow could be also in the future.
Yeah, I'm not thinking for the Tri-Cities, but a lot of snow up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's fantastic.
I've been cheering for that for quite some time. But sunshine for today. I think the winds might take away from the day a little bit. But I think in general, a decent
It was
day to get
really
outside.
windy out this morning. Well, yesterday and then this morning when I walked out.
Yes, definitely some bite to the air this morning. So there's going to be more of that throughout the day with those wind gusts continuing. Let's go ahead and take a look at those big weather stories. We have multiple first alert weather days on the horizon because of multiple rounds of mountain snowfall and then the wind gusts me and Jade were just talking about. High winds not just for today, but also for Sunday. Some microclimates could see gusts up around 50 miles per hour. Okay, round number one of snow is going to last through 4 p.m. tomorrow. That'll bring some impacts to our passes for sure, but much higher impacts for next week. Models are indicating around 3 feet of snow for our Cascade passes from 4 a.m. on Sunday to 4 a.m. next Thursday. And if that verifies, that's great news in that we need the snow. That's bad news in that pass travel will be heavily impacted. First alert radar showing you some snow still hounding Oregon 204 there at Tollgate. The rest of us looking dry for now. The wind gusts, yes, it is windy this morning in the Kittitas Valley. Those gusts up around 35 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour for Pendleton. A little bit of a dead spot right now for the Tri-Cities. They're going to ramp up a little bit later today. Temperatures this morning, 30s and 40s. It's going to feel colder than that in the gusts and plenty of sunshine all throughout the day. That is your hourly forecast for the Yakima Valley. So today is going to be windy. We'll talk about the winds. And also, we'll talk about the avalanche risk that's going to come along with that. All that coming up in a few minutes.
We begin this half hour of news in Walla Walla, where the Army Corps of Engineers is pushing a major hydropower project forward as a part of a larger effort to modernize infrastructure. Officials say that this project is connected to a new federal initiative called Building Infrastructure, not Paperwork, and it's designed to speed up major water infrastructure projects and cut through regulatory delays. At Dworshak Dam, crews are installing a fourth generator unit that could add 250 to 300 megawatts of power. That's enough electricity to serve between 300,000 and 500,000 homes. Construction's already underway, with work continuing over the coming years. Major phases are planned in the next decade as the Corps modernizes the aging dam while keeping power reliability high for the region.
We have a current unit in a current project at Dorshak Dams, which is in Orofino, Idaho. And it's actually installing a 4th generator, which will be the largest generator in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Now, officials say projects like the Dorshak Dam upgrade are aimed at boosting hydropower capacity and providing reliable electricity for communities across the Pacific Northwest, including right here in Washington. 5:34 now in local living. Several major infrastructure projects are underway in the Port of Moses Lake. This is leaders' work to support new business growth. Apple Valley News Now's William Albert spoke with port officials about how these projects could affect people living there.
The Port of Moses Lake is a public port district focused on economic development and attracting businesses to the region. It was established in 1965 after voters approved creating the port district and works to bring jobs to the area by developing infrastructure around Grant County International Airport. Port officials say the airport has become a hub for aviation testing and industrial development, drawing companies and government partners to the area.
We do a lot of testing for different aircrafts. We have military contracts with Joint Base Lewis McChord. Boeing is out here, do a lot of their testing as well. In addition to that, we have industrial and manufacturing business parks where we help companies to be able to site and be able to create jobs.
Roach says the port also has several large infrastructure projects underway, including a rail expansion that will move freight traffic out of the center of town and into a developing business corridor.
And we've acquired the right-of-way. Now we're getting to the building stage, and what that'll do is bring the rail on the north side of town where it currently was running through the middle of town. So this will allow it to go through a business corridor, which will be very important, obviously, for the businesses that are siting there.
Another focus for the port is making sure utilities like power can keep up with new development as more companies look to move into the region.
In recent years, all of that capacity has been used up. So our Grant County PUD is struggling to be able to serve the needs of the businesses that are coming in. So we as a port, we're working with them and with others, private sector, to find ways to be able to accommodate the needs of the power that these companies will need.
Officials with the Port of Moses Lake tell me that right now the port is undergoing several major infrastructure projects. However, they tell me that one very important water infrastructure project is taking shape right now that not just affects Moses Lake, but the entire region all the way down to the Tri-Cities. That project, known as the W20 project, would create a new connection between the Quincy irrigation system and Moses Lake. Leaders say it would help support future municipal water supplies, improve overall lake circulation, and provide additional resource for businesses and residents as the region continues to grow.
So the W20 will also help in that regard because it'll be flushing the lake. So that water coming from the canal that goes into the lake will be able to reduce the phosphorus levels.
Port leaders say the projects will help support continued economic growth in Moses Lake while improving resources for businesses and residents alike. In Moses Lake, William Albert, Apple Valley News Now.
And port officials say many of the projects are still in development, but are expected to play a major role in supporting future industry and job growth in the Moses Lake area. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. State tournament action heating up as Grandview secures an overtime victory against Foster. Talking sports this morning, where we'll see the steal and score that made all the difference. And giving you a live look outside, this one from right here at our Apple Valley Studios in Kennewick. It is 5:38 on this Thursday. When we come back, Josh will let you know what you can expect as you head out the door.
Kraken, Senators. Coverage begins at 7, Saturday on My Network TV.
Who could have wanted a rising football star dead?
It's heartbreaking. Everybody's a suspect. It wasn't the police that discovered this key witness. It was ESPN. Placed under arrest.
2020, Friday night on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Join us March 6th and 7th at the Numerica Pavilion in Kennewick. Shop over 40 vendors from the Pacific Northwest. Find inspiration for your home and one-of-a-kind merchandise. Vintage at the Ridge, March 6th and 7th. Presented by Windermere Group 1.
Are you suffering with constant agonizing knee pain? Have you been told that you have arthritis or are bone on bone? Is knee pain making simple activities like walking stairs or kneeling impossible? If this sounds familiar, the next 60 seconds could change your life. Do not let knee pain control your life any longer. Our powerful program addresses the underlying causes of knee pain without masking symptoms. There is no use of drugs, injections, or surgery. Do not miss this opportunity. Call now to see if we can help. If you qualify for care, day 1 we will perform a trial treatment. Please listen carefully. You will know by the end of the first visit whether or not we can help you. Do not hesitate. Call now. You don't need to suffer any longer. Call right now to see if you qualify for our program that has transformed thousands of lives. Call before it's too late and take the first step towards the knee pain relief you deserve.
At Bruce Heating and Air, your comfort is our business. With over 30 years of professional HVAC experience for residential and commercial properties, you can rest assured your heating and air system is in good hands. In addition to providing quality heating, air conditioning, ventilation, and installation services, Bruce Heating and Air also houses a full-service sheet metal fabrication
now
shop.
through March 31st, receive rebates up to $495 with the purchase of qualifying Daikin ductless equipment. At Bruce Heating and Air, we'll find the unit that works right in your space. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Every home starts with a move. Not just the one to a new address, but the moves along the way. The choices, the negotiations. In those moments, certainty matters. That's why Windermere Group 1 agents are trained, supported, and prepared for every step. Because when it's time to move, you should be sure you're making the right one. Windermere Group 1. On every move.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
We're in this together. Sex and surgery all day.
Got this drive inside.
Some might call it inspiring.
Okay, I'm a little obsessed.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Just wanted to touch base on the past conditions once again as we are seeing some snowy passes for both the Cascades and the Blues, but the biggest impacts are in the Blues where traction tires are advised for Cabbage Hill, but there are some chain restrictions if you're towing between mileposts 16 and 39 on Oregon 204, so that would be between Adena and Elgin. If you have to travel that way, I would highly recommend going to tripcheck.com to see the latest on those road conditions. Okay, wind gusts going to be a factor for both today and for Sunday. Really, throughout the next 7 days, it's going to be breezy at the very least, but the highest winds are going to be on Thursday and Sunday. Gust up around 50 miles per hour for today in the Kittitas Valley, and the same thing for Sunday. And in the mountains, we'll have snow in the mix, which means when we get that mixture of snow and winds, we could see some big-time reductions in visibility. The fresh snow and the winds going to contribute to this considerable avalanche danger for the majority of the forecast zones that the Northwest Avalanche Center serves for today. For tomorrow, a little bit more yellow on the map, so we kind of teeter-totter back and forth between moderate and considerable. You can find plenty of avalanche information posted online at applevalleyNewsNow.com. Here's your ski report brought to you by Schweitzer. The base depth only at 26 for today. For Ski Bluewood, it's up around 2 feet, 23 inches to be precise. And then for White Pass, back down, it was at 40 just last week, now back down to 38 inches. But there is some fresh powder on the way over the next couple days, and then a lot more fresh powder on the way for next week. We will talk about that at length coming up in a few minutes.
5:43 talking sports now this morning. State tournament action is underway for Washington High School basketball. And yesterday, the Grandview boys delivered one of the most thrilling games of the day. Playing against Foster in the second round, the game went into overtime tied at 63. After going back and forth the entire way, a late steal and score by Grandview's Francisco Medina sealing the victory, defeating Foster 74-71. Medina was impressive the entire night, leading all players with 38 points.
It was a blessing, you know, it was a blessing. Something that I pray for, something that hoopers, you know, people that play the game, that they pray for moments like this, and it was special, man. And I'm just so happy that my teammates and the community got to experience a game like this and a moment like this.
And congrats to them. Medina and the Greyhounds advance to the quarterfinals where they will take on the #1 seed Bremerton later today at 5:30. All right, so much more ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up, your morning sprint, everything you need to know before you head out the door this morning, including what the forecast is going to be like as we give you a live look outside from our Apple Valley studios right here in Kennewick. Josh is going to have your full First Alert forecast when we come back.
We are the Dillos. We are from Northern Kentucky. Being out in a rural area, coverage is pretty hit and miss with other carriers, so switching to T-Mobile solved a lot of problems that we had.
I'm able to use T-Satellite now. We've got coverage no matter where we're at.
America's best network meets off-the-grid satellite coverage with T-Satellite. And now switch to T-Mobile and get free phones for $0 down. Plus 4 lines for only $25 per month per line.
Better service, better price, win-win.
It matters every day and every night. It matters that we're not just in your community, but that we're part of it.
We'd be happy to help you.
Making sure everyone feels welcomed and rewarded. It matters that we're here for what the doctor prescribed.
Thanks so much, Eric.
And also, just what the doctor ordered.
Need some help?
Right by your side.
Hi, Alex.
Right when you need us.
I'm gonna go grab that for you. Okay?
Welcome to CVS. Join us.
These days, the world is moving faster than ever, but I like to say, not so fast when it comes to a progressive disease like chronic kidney disease. Jardiance is a little pill proven to slow the progression of CKD and reduce the risk of kidney failure, which can lead to dialysis.
Serious side effects include increased ketones in blood or urine and infection between and around the anus and genitals. Both may be fatal. Severe allergic reactions, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in men and women, and low blood sugar. Stop taking and tell your doctor right away if you have nausea, vomiting, stomach pain, tiredness, rash, swelling, trouble breathing or swallowing. Tell your doctor about lightheadedness, weakness, fever, pain, tenderness, redness, or swelling between the anus and genitals. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have new pain or tenderness, sores, ulcers, or infection in your legs or feet.
Find the goodness of slow by saying, not so fast, CKD. Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
At Core Powder Coating, we bring metal to life. From industrialized parts to custom projects, we specialize in high-end finishes that protect, perform, and stand out. The 35-foot oven, 5-stage chemical wash, and climate control facility, we handle the jobs the others can't and do it right the first time. Core means commitment, organization, reliability, and excellence. And that's exactly what you'll get on every job. Core Powder Coating, where quality meets color. Visit corepowder.com or visit us in Richland.
Watch live with Kelly and Mark weekdays at 9.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We have multiple rounds of snow on the way for our mountain passes. The first one continues through 4 p.m. on Friday. Already seeing some impacts to our passes there, but we have multiple storm systems that are lined up in the Pacific, and these are going to bring many more rounds of snow for our mountains. So let's put this into motion over the next 48 hours with Futurecast radar. For today, consistent snowfall for both of our mountain ranges. And then as we head into Friday morning, here's another big time round of snow for the Cascades. Eventually this gets over to the Blues. Now after 4 or 5 p.m., that's when snow levels are going to come up, and it will transition mostly to rain at pass level for our mountain passes, but then those snow levels coming back down on Sunday, and so we'll transition back to snow. Of course, you can see hour by hour and day by day precip chances, wind gusts, the whole shebang by downloading the Apple Valley News Now First Alert weather app for free in the App Store or on Google Play. Here are some of the snowfall totals we're anticipating from this morning through 4 p.m. on Friday. 5 to 6 inches of snow for Stevens Pass, Snoqualmie Pass, not nearly as much for Blewett, White, or Sadius passes. And then over towards the Blues, a couple inches of snow for Cabbage Hill and Interstate 84, and then closer to 10 inches of snow for Oregon 204 at Tollgate, which is where we're already seeing chain requirements for this morning. Okay, here's what it's going to look like for lower elevations. Not much precip at all in the forecast for the Yakima Valley over the next 7 days, but by next Wednesday, almost a 50-50 chance of seeing a rain-snow mix. That's going to be associated with this next round of snow, and this one's going to bring some much bigger impacts, specifically to our Cascade passes. 4 a.m. on Sunday to 4 a.m. next Thursday, we're looking at around 3 feet of snow for Snoqualmie Pass and White Pass, definitely a lot less for the Blues. This is good news, bad news. The good news is that we desperately need the snowfall. The bad news is that pass travel will be heavily impacted if this verifies. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Small chance of showers tomorrow. High winds gearing up for Sunday. In Yakima, mostly sunny and breezy today, mostly cloudy and mild this weekend with windy weather for Sunday. In Ellensburg, gusts up around 45 to 50 miles per hour for today and Sunday, then tracking the potential for some snow next week. In Hermiston, windy today and Thursday, and a small shower chance sandwich in between on Friday. And finally, for Walla Walla, chances for precip every single day over the next 7 days, maybe even some snow mixing in Monday night into Tuesday.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is 5:49, and we start with your top 5 local things you need to know this morning. A heavy police presence was in Richland just yesterday. This was off of George Washington Way and Comstock Street. We were there on the scene. Take a look at the video. Richland police say officers were tracking a wanted man for robbery and unlawful imprisonment. The suspect and an acquaintance entered a building there, prompting the response from multiple law enforcement agencies. After about an hour, police found the suspect hiding in the attic. We're told he fell through a crawl space, leading to him needing some medical evaluation. The suspect's acquaintance was also detained. Unclear, though, if they'll remain in custody. Pasco police are now expected to take over the investigation. And Kennewick police shut down 4 massage parlors on Tuesday as a part of an operation targeting illegal activity and potential human trafficking. Officers say they received multiple complaints about businesses involved in prostitution and trafficking. Locations closed included Our Massage on North Kellogg, Sunrise Massage Spa on North Volland, Sunrise Massage on Vista Way, and Dream Spa on West Clearwater. 3 owners were cited for permitting prostitution. 1 owner was arrested and booked into the Benton County Jail. 3 people believed to be trafficking victims were offered advocacy services. Police say they will still be continuing their investigation into illegal businesses and customers involved. And the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission could soon have a new oversight of elected sheriffs. Under the bill, sheriff candidates would need to pass a background check that goes beyond criminal history, including social media reviews, checks for ties to extremist groups, polygraph tests, and psychological evaluations. Officers said the commission could remove a sheriff with a felony conviction who can't legally own a firearm or who lacks required law enforcement experience. Supporters say this modernizes state law and strengthens public trust, while critics warn, though, it could violate voter rights. The bill is still moving through the legislature, with communities and officials debating the balance between accountability and election rights. And the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is moving forward with a major hydropower project at Dworshak Dam as a part of a federal initiative to modernize infrastructure. Crews are installing a 4th generator unit capable of adding 250 to 300 megawatts. That's enough to power between 300,000 and 500,000 homes. Construction's underway, with major phases planned over the next decades. And the Port of Moses Lake is focusing on economic development and infrastructure projects to support their regional growth. Officers said that projects include a rail expansion to move freight traffic into a business corridor and a large water project, the W20, that will connect the Quincy irrigation system to Moses Lake. These efforts are designed to support future municipal water supplies, improve lake circulation, and provide additional resources for businesses and residents. 5:52 in your national headlines this morning. Drivers in Washington and across the country are seeing the biggest one-day jump in gas prices since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. According to AAA, the national average was 11 cents on Tuesday. Average price of gas now $3.11 a gallon. Spike follows U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a key global oil route. Iran has also launched retaliatory attacks targeting oil infrastructure in several oil-rich U.S. allies in the region. Business headlines now at 5:53. Beyond Meat is thinking beyond food. The company, known for their plant-based burgers and steaks, is launching a line of sparkling protein drinks. They're called Beyond Immerse, and they have a combination of fiber, antioxidants, electrolytes, and plant protein. Flavors include peach, mango, orange, tangerine, lemon lime, pina colada, and cucumber grapefruit. Beyond Immerse products are exclusively available on the Beyond Test Kitchen website. And in more business news, the average 401k balance rose by 11%, according to Fidelity Investments. This is the third straight year that the average corporate workplace retirement account enjoyed a double-digit hike. Analysts say the strong showing comes from consistent saving habits by participants as well as overall market performance. The findings were based on nearly 25 million accounts. At 54 health headlines this morning, a popular barbecue sauce sold nationwide is being recalled over a labeling mix-up that could pose a risk for people with food allergies. According to the FDA, Georgia-based Savannah Bee Company is recalling some 16-ounce bottles of honey barbecue sauce mustard. Some bottles labeled mustard were actually filled with a different product that could contain wheat and soy that's not listed on the label. Company says the mustard version should appear light yellow, but the mislabeled bottles contain a dark brown sauce instead. The affected bottles have best by dates of May 16th, 2027. And talking sports this morning, Major League Baseball has suspended outfielder Jurickson Profar for the entire upcoming season. MLB's action follows his second positive test for a performance-enhancing drug. Atlanta Braves outfielder expected to miss his team's entire 162-game schedule. Second-time offenders of baseball's Joint Drug Prevention and Treatment Program are sidelined for an entire season. And he also tested positive for a PED last season, leading to an 80-game suspension following the Braves' first 4 games. Reportedly, the Players Association will appeal his suspension. If it's upheld, he would lose his $15 million salary for the season, and this is the second year of a 3-year contract for Profar with the Braves. Yikes.
And that's my team. Come on, Jerks.
That is your team, isn't it? Dang it.
Get it together.
Come on, guys. All right, speaking of sports, trending this morning, a Wisconsin teacher got the ultimate surprise from the Milwaukee Brewers baseball team. Wednesday morning, the Brewers' famous racing sausages. I love these guys. They dropped by Lincoln Elementary School in Madison. Folks from the team, along with the sausages, were there to give Jennifer Kilberg the Brewers Grand Slam Teacher Award.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, Kilberg was nominated by one of her students for her commitment and dedication to teaching. And in addition to receiving the award, Kilberg was given a Brewers jersey and a $1,000 check.
Ah, congrats to her. Teachers, man, I tell you what.
Underrated.
They are amazing.
Yes.
They really are. Yes. My hat off to all teachers, because it's, you know, it's one of those things they say, not all heroes wear capes. I put teachers right there in that hero category.
Absolutely. Building the foundation for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And putting up with all those kids.
Yeah, the hardest part.
I mean, come on now. All right, still ahead here on Good Morning Northwest. Coming up in your 6 o'clock hour, lawmakers in Olympia moving on 2 bills affecting law enforcement. One would give the Criminal Justice Training Commission more power over elected sheriffs. Another would limit masks officers can wear on duty. Coming up, we're going to see how both measures could change accountability, safety, and public transparency across the state. Plus, a 4th grader proving age is but a number by making fashion history. We're going to show you the sustainable trend-setting designs that are putting the youngest designer ever at Paris Fashion Week in the global spotlight. Look at that little cutie. I'm kind of obsessed. Okay, and then this beauty right here, live look from our Apple Valley studios here in Kennewick. Sun is starting to come up, making for a pretty little sky out there, Josh.
Definitely, yeah. Those watercolors up in the sky, they say red sky in the morning, sailor's warning, and yeah, we still have some snow on the way for mountain passes. In fact, a bunch more as we head into next week. We'll talk about that coming up on Good Morning Northwest at 6.